Love an international crowd, man. This is so beautiful. Love people from all over the world. I always connect to the international crowds because I come from a multicultural background. I'm sure you're all able to tell by looking at my face. Thank you for the deafening silence. 200 people. This is great. Okay. You guys are like, there's more culture in a cup of yogurt than there is in you, sir. Okay. I do come from different cultures. I come from the French people. Where are my French people at? Two in the back, like, this is all you get from us today. This is nice. I also come from the Germans. Where are my German people at? All right. 3 separated. Cool, okay. All right, maybe there's a couple more of us and they're like, hey, we're rebranding at the moment. Let's keep this fun. Let's keep it light, you know? Because I feel like if they get excited, we'll all start clapping, we're all marching, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, the Germans know how to throw a party, okay? A political party, but a party, you know what I mean? And I was born here, so French, Dutch, and German, that together is a Venn diagram of undeserved confidence right there, okay? But so I was actually born in this country. I lived in the United States for a long time. That's why I sound like I don't know geography. I do get that. I actually also lived in Australia for a little while. Over there they assumed, oh, we got some Aussies? Right over there, beautiful, love your country, right? In Australia, actually, people assumed I was Canadian. Yeah, because I knew where I was. I was like, oh, this is very refreshing. I like that, right? And so, like, for me, for example, traveling to the US is one of the most exciting things I can possibly do. I know we have some Americans. Where are the Americans at? Right over there, beautiful. She's like, please, me now. Okay. Whereabouts in the US are you from? Your daddy's American from Texas. Well, we know who snuck across the border. Holy shit. I love that. So your daddy's American from Texas, and you're? Your mom is Russian Israeli. I made a big mistake. Okay, cool. Holy fuck. I rolled the dice way too early, didn't I? Holy shit. Say what now? New Jersey. That's worse. Yeah, that's Wait, so from Texas, Russian, Israeli, great. What do you identify as? Like, is this a lot of different cultures? What do you feel?
I was born in Greece.
You were born in Greece? That's it, perfect, okay.
I lived in the States for 15 years and then I moved back to Europe.
You moved from the States, you lived there for 15 years, you moved back to Europe.
Yes.
And where did you move to? Here in Amsterdam?
I moved to London and I came here when I was 25, 7.
Great, I love that we have the whole life story. This is beautiful. A little round of applause, I like that, good. Holy shit, American, Russian, Israeli, Greek. Jesus Christ, like you send money to your own family, take it out of the bank, like ruin local economies, you do it all. I love that, that's incredible. But so like traveling to the US, that's my point, right? I know we have some Americans. Any of the non-Americans ever traveled to the US? Give me a cheer. Okay, I like that. People cheered and one person went, yep. Did it once, never again. Okay. I think it's the most exciting thing I can possibly do as a non-American because I think it's the closest I will ever get to a real life version of that Netflix show Squid Game. You know what I mean? Think about it for a second. If you've seen the show, if you've traveled to the US, you put them together, you know exactly what I mean, right? You get off the plane in the US, first thing I do, I think most of you do as well, you're like, I don't know who of you is gonna be around for another hour, but this is exciting, okay? And it's because anywhere else I go, any other country on earth, if I show them my Dutch passport, they get very excited. They're like, oh, Netherlands, okay. Oh, Ruud van Nistelrooy. And then they see my birthplace, Amsterdam, and they go, oh, yeah. Oh, we know about Amsterdam, you dirty boy. Oh, Amsterdam, Amsterdam. I was like, what, you think I was born smoking weed? Jesus. Like I came out of the vagina on my bicycle, you know? First words in the crib as a baby were like, puff, puff, pass, bro. It's such a silly stereotype about us Dutch people, right? And especially about me. It's a silly stereotype because I don't even smoke weed, okay? I quit when I was 6. My Dutch mother is still disappointed to this day, right? Anywhere I go, it's never an issue. If I go to the US and I show them my Dutch passport and they see Amsterdam 9 times out of 10, I can see that moment because there's a twitch in their eyes and they turn into bloodhounds. Animals are like, oh, Amsterdam. California. So I was 15 years old when I first traveled to the US on my own. For the first time, 15 years old, I get to immigration, and this immigration officer looks me in my eyes and asks me if I had drugs in my backpack. I had no idea what to say. Because I was high out of my mind, okay? I was like, where the hell are we right now? I only had the brownie that mother packed for me on the plane. And when is this flight gonna land? And for us foreigners, it's a nightmare. I don't know how it is for like the Americans getting back. I always thought it was really tricky for Americans to get back through immigration because I just assumed the immigration officers would look at the Americans like, if you were a real American, you would have never left in the first place. Would you go to Europe, that communist hellhole? What's in the bag, socialism? For us foreigners, the questions we get is an absolute mindfuck, okay? Back in the day, I don't know if anybody remembers this, they had these paper immigration forms, right? On the back of the form, this was the first question. Are you here to overthrow the United States government? And I looked at them the way some of you look at me now, like, and they looked at me like, dude, it's a simple question, yes or no. If you're here to overthrow the US, you have to tell us, that's the rule. Second question, insane. Were you ever part of a terrorist organization? I'm like, dude, I'm 15, I just started jacking off. What do you want from me? Like, I'll blow, but on my belly. That's what I do, right? That was in your face, I apologize. That was a bit much for that. You guys can't always see the reactions. He just went. I actually recently did that at a show, right? A guy sitting where you're sitting, I was like, right? And this guy just goes. It's a guy you'd like to high five, you know? That's kind of cool, that's nice. Third question on this form, it was a 3-part question. It was a big closing question. It would go, were you ever part of the Nazi regime? It said it right there in black and white, I promise you. Were you ever part of the Nazi regime? Because if so, were you a scientist? And if so, when can you start, okay? We have some rockets to build and we need a little help around here. That's right. And now, of course, a couple of weeks ago, we found out which box Elon ticked on that form. Do we have some Tesla drivers yet? Oh, you guys are like, not our boy Elon. Okay, I'm gonna try this. I don't know if this will make it to the special. We might cut it out, we'll see. A couple weeks ago when he did that crazy, the greeting, right? I'm not gonna go above the waist. That was crazy. Okay, you all saw it, right? Holy shit, and especially what I thought was so funny is these very conservative news people who always make fun of the woke stuff, right? They always make fun of neurodivergence. All of a sudden they got very, very sensitive, right? They're like, oh no, you don't get it. It's okay. He is neurodivergent. He's a man on the autistic spectrum. He's just a little awkward with his greetings. That was not a Nazi salute. I was like, if that's not a Nazi salute, the Nazis were doing it wrong. Holy shit. That was 10 out of 10 twice in a row. I was like, Jesus Christ, man, holy shit. But I feel like he can get away with anything, right? They immediately jumped to his defense, no questions asked, right? They were very sensitive about the woke stuff. I feel he could get on stage at one of those rallies, dance around like an absolute idiot, yell out the N-word, and Fox News would go, guys, hey, look, let's relax. He is from Africa, so. But here's what I've noticed, right? Like, it was a massive culture shock for me moving to the US, right? I moved to a very conservative, very small town, and you know, the people are very nice to you, to your face, right? Like, what I've noticed is these very conservative old American men will introduce themselves with their entire family lineage because they're very proud of their immigrant background, right? But they also vote to close the border, okay? That's a little bit of like the contradiction there, right? I remember meeting this guy, I was staying with the host family, and I met one of their friends. He's like, John from Wisconsin, 10% Norwegian, 12% English, 7% French, 5% West African, but we don't discuss that in my family. 10% more Norwegian, 15% English, 17% Chippewa Native American Indian, 100% American. I was like, John, I don't know if that's a family record or a criminal record, but it's something, okay? The Americans over there, like, where you, in New Jersey? Where you at? Raise your hand real quick. Love it. How do you feel about the situation back home right now? What's going through your mind? Oh, hell yeah. We know who you voted for. Okay, back to me. That's fine. That's all good. You don't want to comment. That's absolutely fine. But what I'm trying to get to is, right, there's a lot of contradictions in the country. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening. But the reasons I love the US, right, are very, very personal, right? Like, I love it for the people. The people were always great. I love it for the culture, right? The music, the movies that I always watch, the sports, right? The culture of the United States, and the personal milestones. I had a lot of personal milestones happen in the United States. I, for example, I'll get very personal with you guys, lost my virginity in the US. Thank you very much. Last week was big for me. I was hoping for more support. This is... You guys are like, we're not sure if this actually happened. Sorry. Okay. Like, obviously, I played a lot of sports. I also, here's what I like. When I was a little kid, my dad and I would watch these westerns. Anybody else here like watched westerns with their dad? Okay, 3 people. Interesting. So I just remember like learning about American culture, right, through these movies, right? Like it was this one movie, like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. You know what I mean? Which I feel now is America's foreign policy. You know? It's like we're good, you're all bad and ugly. That's what. Yeah. Or another one, shoot first, ask questions later, you know? Which is what you learn the first day on the job when you want to become a cop in the United States. But there's a lot of, like, what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of big culture shocks in, like for me in the United States, a lot of big culture shocks when I first moved there, because I moved to a very small conservative town and I grew up in a very liberal household, right? Very liberal household, so open and so liberal that I'm convinced I disappointed my mom when I came out as straight, okay? Is somebody disappointed? Oh no. So like my mom would let me play with her clothes, paint my nails, like wear her heels. She never made it weird, right? Like she was a flight attendant for 40 years, right? She, I think, either wanted a gay son or a coworker. That's what I think. And she took me all over the world, right? Like she introduced me to the United States, right? She actually took me all over the world in search of a new father, but that's neither here nor there. As was he. So anyway, okay. But she would let me play with her clothes. She'd let me wear anything, right? She got upset only one time. One time when she saw me coming out of her room in a red gown of hers, right? A big, very expensive, beautiful red gown. And she was like, Roger, no, how could you? We've talked about this. Red is not your color, honey. I just didn't grow up like a very, very confident person, right? Like very liberal, very open-minded, just not very confident. Because also my mom was very strict. She did not allow any swear words in the house, so I had to learn how to swear by listening to hip-hop, right? Rap music, right? Like Eminem. I mean, I'm a white kid from a middle-class family. Eminem is my father figure, basically, okay? Like to give you an example of how my mom would respond if she would like drop a vase or stub her toe, she would not say fuck or god damn it. Right? Like the rest of us, she would go shoopy-de-boopy. And you don't need to know Dutch to know you cannot use that against a bully on a playground, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. I had some bullies on a playground, I had no weapons, but then I listened to Eminem, I learned how to say fuck you, and all of a sudden I had this weapon on me, right? Felt like I was like, okay, I'm walking around the playground, I'm like, I wish a motherfucker would try some shit on me, you know what I mean? So I'm walking around, and lo and behold, one of my bullies bumps into me, I was like, here we fucking go. I'm ready. I've watched the movies, listened to the music, seen the shows. I'm like, I get in my fuck you stance. I pull up my pants and I'm like, hey man, fuck yeah. Now, we can unpack this a little bit. I did the upside down lollipop, not the cool Eminem hand. Remember that, right? It's captivating. The way he did the hand, right? It was unbelievable. But I did the upside down lollipop. So this kid knew, first time in battle, this is gonna be easy, okay? I was showing my inexperience, right? He didn't move, so I'm like, I'll try it again. I'm like, fuck. Yeah. He still didn't move. I'm like, is this thing on? What is happening here, dude? But I was like, you know what? I've seen the movies. I've seen the show. They always say third time's the charm, okay? So I was like, I'll try it again. I'll try it a third time. I'm like, fuck yeah. He didn't flinch. He didn't, cool as a cucumber. Looked me dead in the eye, okay? Took a second, raised another middle finger. Much better technique. Cocked it sideways like a gangster holding a gun in a movie. Right? So I'm like, we've seen the same movies. He took much better notes, okay? And then he raises another middle finger, crosses it with the first one, okay? So now he's got some sort of fuck you shield. Like a profane Power Ranger, okay? And he's just standing there gathering power. He's just like, ah, ah. It reminded me of one of those Dragon Ball Z episodes. You remember that? Where the guy's gathering power for 45 minutes, 3 episodes long? He's just like, ah! I'm like, why is this kid levitating? Why is he turning blonde? And at some point he goes, no man, fuck you double. And I was like, shoopy-de-boopy, this is not how... Yeah, man. Yeah, so I lost a battle, but I gained a boyfriend that day. That's what happened, okay? That's right, man. Not a very confident kid, right? I learned how to be confident by again, listening to American music, playing American sports, right? I played a lot of American sports, played basketball, American football. Do we have any other athletes in the room, people who played sports? Right, one in the back. The rest are like, competitive drinkers, we're good. Okay. What's the sport of choice in the back over there? Basketball, great. Where are we at? Oh shit, oh that's Mike, the DJ. Okay. He's like, dude, I'm gonna help you out because these fucking people have not broken a sweat a day in their life. I appreciate that, Mike. So I learned a lot of, like, that's what I'm trying to say. I learned a lot of confidence, a lot of like self, sort of self appreciation by playing these American sports. My coaches were the most intense but repressed, emotionally repressed, sexually repressed people you've ever met in your life. And they would always try to teach you these mindsets about the game, and somewhere along the line, it turned into the most homoerotic shit you've ever heard in your life. But they were so homophobic, they wouldn't even notice. It was the funniest shit, right? They would go like, Roger, see that man right there? Look at that man. That is your man. Now I want you to look at that face, and you love that face more than you love your own mother. For the next 90 minutes, that is all you think about. Look at that man, look at him running. Isn't he? Look at that. Like, if you have to take one for the team, Roger, you get on your knees. And you grab him with 2 hands and squeeze it out of him, okay? Roger, go get him. You don't let him get away. He's running away from you. That's your butt. You see that butt? That's your butt. You gotta get in that butt. You gotta eat that butt. And I'm just so excited to be there. I'm like, top or bottom, coach? How do we go about this, right? And then they'd be like, don't be gay, son. And they'd slap me on the ass as I ran on the field. So I'm like, this is confusing but exciting, And that's how I feel about the US. It's confusing but exciting. And a little gay. It just doesn't really realize it. That's what I think, right? One of the coolest moments of my life actually happened while I was playing sports in the United States. I was playing basketball for the school. I think many people can attest to this. This is the coolest moment in any guy's life, okay? I was playing basketball for the school, chasing my dream, chasing my own American dream. And one day during practice, a teammate of mine, good teammate, good friend of mine, black guy, out of nowhere, called me, of all people on the team, had a lot of choices, but he picked me. Of all people on the team, he called me the N-word, right? People always get tight when I say this. Don't worry. I would never say it. I'm not that Dutch. You can all relax. I don't even like saying the word vinegar in a restaurant. I'm like, oil and salt for me, please. Thank you. Plenty spicy. But you have to realize, right? This is the biggest moment in any white guy's life. I speak from a white guy's perspective, best moment in any white guy's life. Because you have to realize a black person calling a non-black person the N-word is like your partner telling you, I love you for the first time. Same reaction, right? Somebody says, I love you for the first time. You're like, my goodness, me? Oh, wow. My goodness, I don't know what to say. Right? He called me the N-word. I was like, my goodness, me? I mean, I'm really flattered, but I don't think I can say it back. There's a bit of a misconception. I'll get to that here a little bit later, right? Like, people feel Americans are disingenuous. I think they're just very, very open, very happy, proud of where they come from or whatever. But that American confidence, I never had that, right? Like that American confidence to come to Europe, right? To order coffee at a cafe and to then want to pay with a $20 bill. And then when the barista tells you, we don't accept dollars here, we have our own currency, you just look at them like, why do you choose to be poor? What is... That American confidence, never had it, right? And people assume that I'm a very confident person when they see me on stage, and I feel like on stage, very much in my element. Off stage, I'm like some of you. Awkward as fuck, we all have it. No, don't mess with me, we all have it. Like for me, I'll tell you, the most uncomfortable place at all times is a public bathroom, okay? I don't know how to behave in this small, intimate space that you share with only strangers when you're at your most vulnerable. I can't handle it. I always break the first rule of public bathrooms. I always make eye contact. For just a little too long, I can tell people go like, what the hell is this guy's deal? And why is he smiling? And it's because I lived in the US, I picked up that American shininess and smiliness, right? When I get nervous, I start talking to people. Sometimes it gets me into trouble, right? I recently walked into an elevator in a hotel. This guy follows me in. I wanted to be cool and be helpful and be like, hey man, what floor are you on? Yeah. But instead I looked at him and said, what room are you in? I could be Canadian, buddy. I'm friendly. It's okay. I'm also a bit of a germaphobe in these public bathrooms. I don't like urinals. I think they're absolutely disgusting, okay? I've done a poll at every show I've done. It's gone 50% of the time, so let's see how this does. Gentlemen, by show of jazz hands, who likes to sit down when they use the bathroom? 4, I love it, okay. It's always so nice like to see some of the guys go this, and then other guys are like, I'm so straight I never move my hand. But I will sit down, that's right. Now, it's 2025, ladies who stand the sprinklers. This is where we cross the line, okay? You guys are like, this is very strange. And a lady never tells. Okay. Actually, I did this joke a little while ago in Ghent, in Belgium, right? And I swear to God, I did the little poll. I was like, guys, gentlemen, by show of jazz hands, who sits down when they use the bathroom? And this guy in the front row goes, on the urinal? And I was like, how do you like hug it like a little bike seat? Do you like, hey, how's it going, brother? I'll be, just a second. Or do you like to do a little flip back? Like, yeah, if I have to go number 2, I'm ready. This is incredible, man. They are stupid in Belgium, aren't they? Okay, so it was a Dutch guy in Belgium. He was stupid. It just rubs off. Anyway, okay. No, but like what I'm trying to say, ladies, I'm all the way with you, right? I'm all the way on your side. I like sitting down. I think it's much cleaner. It's much more comfortable. And I always think anything a woman does, I can do better. So that's, you know, it's just the American way. Interesting. All the ladies were like, not this time. But I love, you know, like what I was saying earlier, I love American people, right? The politics are fucking nuts, as we noticed. But the people are awesome, right? I feel like Americans, right, like I said, they're very, very, you know, open, they're very energetic, they speak with their hearts, but they vote with their assholes. That's what I've done. Very tight, and they're like very worried about anyone coming in unannounced. They're like, close the border, fuck it, just, that's what I've noticed. I don't know. I was telling you about, like I was saying earlier, like there's I feel like a bit of a misconception that people here have about Americans, right? Especially Dutch people. They think Americans are too disingenuous, too optimistic about everything, right? Dutch people feel Americans just walk around like, oh my goodness, this is fantastic. Holy crap. Holy, look at it, Frank. It's gigantic. My God. Right? My thinking is, even if all that stuff is fake, how bad is it to fake something every once in a while, okay? Because a Dutch person, apparently, likes negativity over fake positivity, okay? Why is it so bad to fake something? Even if all that stuff is fake, why is it so bad to fake something every once in a while if we're having sex? Not the joke, but thank you all for laughing. I appreciate it. You guys are like, ha ha ha, never. For having sex, and I have one of my rare off days, okay? You know what that's like, brother. She's like, ooh, yes you do. Thank you, Spain. I appreciate that. Okay. If I'm not doing a great job in the bedroom, I'd much rather have someone go, oh my goodness, this is fantastic. Holy crap. Look at it, Frank. It's gigantic. My God. Instead of like a real Dutch person getting up off the bed and being like, that was unsatisfactory, and like walking out. I don't know. I actually made a mistake recently. I made a mistake on social media, okay? I did the one thing you cannot do on social media. I said something positive. Apparently can't do that, right? I lived in the United States, I lived in the Netherlands, I lived in both countries, and I've realized a lot of similarities between the two countries, and I was like, you know what? Let me bridge a cultural gap. Let me say something nice. I said the Dutch and the Americans are basically the same. Do we feel the tension ripple through the room? Okay. That's 20 Dutch buttholes snapping shut at the same time. This has gone too far, buddy. This is too much. All these 25 to 35-year-old Dutch dudes flooded my comment section on Instagram. They went nuts. They were like, at least we have a good school system. At least we don't have problems with guns in our country. I like the American response way better. They were very relaxed about it, very easy. Because they don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Incredible. They were like, we're like the Dutch? What? We are nothing like Norway, sir. What are you talking about? No, when we want oil, we invade for it. That's what we do. There's misunderstandings. That's what I think, social media has sort of done for us. I think when we travel, right, we meet each other, we fall in love with each other. We have some international couples, right? International couples, let me hear you. Love that, that's beautiful. Where are you both from? Netherlands, great. He's like, I'm so sorry, okay. And? Iran, beautiful. Who's the more romantic one of the two? He's romantic, holy shit! Yeah! One of the rare Dutchies, good for you. Now let's do a little, oh shit, she's like, okay. Okay, I know where you got such a tall man, sister, good for you. It's like, I climb that mountain every day. The only mountain in the Netherlands, and he's mine. Okay. So here's what I'll say, right? I think any international being with a Dutch person, so brave, so good of you. Spain is like, I have not been praised in 15 minutes. Very brave. I think any international being with a Dutch person, you deserve a medal or a humanitarian award. Okay, we're not the most romantic people. The Netherlands, not the most romantic country. We don't do romance in the Netherlands. We do paperwork. With a lot of passion, don't get me wrong, right? It's like, I will not go down on my wife, but I will lick the shit out of an envelope, Yeah. Gotta get tits to the post office on time. Just closes at 5, dinner at 5:30. Just, my wife can go fuck herself. That's what she can do. Very brave, very, very brave, right? And that's what I love so much about us traveling. We fall in love with each other. We learn from each other. We can be around each other. Food that we get across the world is a perfect way to learn someone's culture. I feel the food you get across the world, perfect reflection of the vibe of the people, right? Like we have, of course, Iran, great food. What's another country you'd like to travel to for food specifically? India, great. Now, very flavorful, very energetic. I love that. Now, for example, French food makes me a little lazy, a little laid back. I'm like, no English today, fuck off. I still have 7 hours on my lunch break, asshole, fuck you. Right? Very controversial opinion nowadays. I love American food, that real American food. Okay, hamburgers, French fries, Frankfurters, tacos, quesadillas, the real American shit, you know what I mean? Anybody here ever have mac and cheese? Have you ever had mac and cheese? It's unbelievable. If you haven't had it, it's the culinary equivalent of mainlining heroin and meth straight into your veins. It's so chemical, but it's so good, right? You're like, I love the taste of the color orange. Oh, give me more of that. I love it, brother. Perfect reflection of the vibe of the people. I had 1 spoonful of mac and cheese when I was 12 years old. And I was like, 9/11 was an inside job, yes. Now, I have been experimenting a little bit more. Recently went to Germany, had some German food in Germany, realized it makes me a little gassy. Coincidence? Don't get upset, everybody. They had 80 years to update their cuisine. They refused. I love that we have some international couples. I think that's absolutely lovely. I was actually in an international couple with a girl from Finland for a long time. I met her the first week I was in the United States. I made a mistake. I thought Finnish people, Scandinavians, same thing. You can tell by the way they sound, they are not the same. Okay, Norwegians, Swedes sit up here like a little butterfly, right? Sounds so hot, so sexy, you're like, I hear that, a little tingle. This is nice. Okay, I thought this Finnish girl, Scandinavian, I was so excited for her to start speaking. I was like, she's gonna sound so hot. She said 1 word and I was like, why do I not feel safe in this moment? Again, the Swedes that appear like a little butterfly. And you've got a Finnish person all the way down here. Like a submarine. They speak with no change of rhythm or sign of life whatsoever. Yeah. Like a Finnish person could be giving you great news. This could be the best day of your life, right? You're on one of those TV shows where they bring you a big check, right? They knock on your door, you open up, they're like, hello. You just won the lottery. 25 million euro, right? And you, if you're a Finn, would go, oh my God. Losing your shit. In a relationship, it's even tougher. Okay, I dated this Finnish girl for a long time. The first day she told me she loved me was the most frightening day of my life. Because in English, you've got I love you, it sounds nicer. In French, je t'aime. It's romantic, right? Do you guys have any clue? Norwegian man, hold on for a second, I don't know if you know this. Do you guys have any clue what I love you is in Finnish? Rakastan sinua. I was like, no, thank you, that's okay. That's not a declaration of love, that's a declaration of war. I will invade your heart. I will occupy your soul. I was like, Geneva Conventions, we have to stop this. Okay? So we lived together, we moved in every single day. She came home, she was like, hello, honey, I am home. And I was like, how do I turn this off? If I don't move, will she notice I'm here? What is it? Bedroom, worst of all. Oh, Roger, oh, Roger. Hit me harder. Zip, I'm out. Okay. I don't know, man. It's lovely. International couples is absolutely amazing. We ended up getting married in upstate New York, right? I felt like, this is part of the American dream. We're living it, we're doing it, right? It sadly did not work out, but this proves my earlier point of how unromantic this country really is, okay? Lovely wedding, the United States, one of the milestones, beautiful, positive, nice little thing, good memory. In this country, my divorce was finalized on February 14th. 2022, okay? And I'm like some of you, I'm like, Jesus Christ, Dutch government, can we chill? It's Valentine's Day, the most romantic day of the year, right? And the Dutch government was like, yeah, but Roger, most of all, it's a fucking Monday, okay? We have envelopes to lick. Get your sad bullshit out of here, dude. But like I said, traveling, we learn from each other, right? We're around each other, we fall in love with each other. I think that's the nicest thing. We can laugh together, we're from all over the world. It's literally one of the most magical things to me about comedy, and that's why I think social media has done such, I'm on social media a lot, but it's done damage to society in some way. I feel like society has been completely flipped upside down because of social media for me, okay? I get a lot of comments on videos I post, and the ugliest, nastiest comments always come from the people with the nicest bio lines on Instagram, okay? Those people with those flowery, beautiful little bios are the worst people in the world. I got a comment recently, went to this person's profile. It was a lady with a bright smile, flowing hair, and her bio said, loving mother of 3 angels. Her comment on my video was, you're a fucking retard. And I was like, could I talk to the mother of 3 angels? That would be nice. Can she come to the phone? What are we doing here, dude? Got another comment, went to this person's profile. It was a nurse holding a baby, okay? And their bio said, Buddha teaches us to love without judgment. You remember Buddha? The guy who's all about forgiveness, karma, huh? Buddha teaches us to love without judgment. Her comment on my video was, your mother should have swallowed you. I was like, I don't remember Buddha saying that. What the hell, dude? And as a nurse, I don't think you're allowed to say that, dude. I don't know. It's incredible. It's absolutely crazy. And I feel like a lot of news we get is through social media, right? It's these little clip-sized, rage-baity bits of news, right, that immediately make us angry at each other, right? It's meant to make us angry at each other. A couple months ago, before the election in the United States, do we remember the moment when Trump got shot? Unbelievable moment, right? Now, say what you will about the guy. I don't like him, but do we remember that picture? The most iconic picture of all time. Remember the picture, right? The fist, the bloody face, the American flag. I was like, could there be a more American picture? And the answer is yes, if there was an eagle flying over the back. Holding a Mexican, dropping him off on the other side of the wall, going. That is red, white, and blue American right there, brother. I have a very personal connection to the country because my parents actually made me in the United States, okay? Yeah, so it's not just a nice poetic little title. I was made in the USA, okay? Does anybody else know where their parents made them? Anybody? You're okay, you're nodding your head, lovely. Where'd your parents make you? In the what? In the south of Portugal. You said what now? What was the Algarve. Great, okay. They were on vacation. Where are they from? Oh, they're from Portugal. They have no money. They go, okay. I love that for you, though. It's very nice. Have you been there? Have you seen the location where your parents made you? You didn't go that far, but you felt it. You're like, the family history is close. This is okay. I always feel like it's such a dad thing to do, right? It's like, well, you're 6 now. You better know where your mother and I made you, right? Okay. You see that stain in the sand? That could have been you. This is, yeah. I'm not sure where your line is, but I like finding it here and there. Okay. So my parents made me in the U.S., right? This is the story. It's a nice little story, very, very quick story. So my parents went to New York City, right? They went on a trip to New York City. They got the full American experience. They got the burgers, the fries, the milkshakes, right? They made sweet American love overlooking the world's capital. And here's where the story gets a little freaky, okay? A little funny, so stay with me, okay? When the magic moment came, okay? When the fireworks went off, when the mac and cheese came out, okay? It's just, you guys think about that next time you're eating mac and cheese. Okay, so when it happened, okay, when my dad arrived, he yelled, "Abraham Lincoln!" Right? That's not the funny part. My mom, very quick-witted, very funny lady, okay, very quick-witted, very quick on her feet, okay? She yelled, "JFK," because he missed and hit her in the back of the head. It was a whole... Not American, I know that. I also know I'm not American because I don't think I live in the best country on earth. I live in the Netherlands. I feel like, again, that's another stereotype that people have about Americans. They feel like they live in the best country on earth. I feel a lot of us feel that way. We're just less vocal about it, okay? Let's be real. Like in the Netherlands, it's great, but not everything always works. For example, Dutch healthcare is a myth. Can we talk about that for a second? Have you ever been to a Dutch doctor? If you haven't gone, get ready, because these fuckers will look you in the eye and ask you what you think you have. And then when you tell them, they'll disagree with you just to fuck with you some more, okay? And that is if you even manage to get past the front line of defense, which is the reception area. If you manage to infiltrate and you get in their office, get ready, because adding insult to injury, they will Google your symptoms in your face. And I'll tell you why they do this. It's because they want you to know that they don't know. They don't give a fuck. They're like, I don't know, dude. I know as much as you do. So why don't you come around to my side of the table and we'll figure this thing out together. How about that, right? And I did not know how bad it was until I moved back from the US, right? I got this sort of like reverse culture shock. Because the stereotype here in the Netherlands is doctors give you paracetamol, 2 weeks rest, that's it, right? I actually recently found out German doctors, not much better. German doctors don't even prescribe medicine. They'll prescribe tea. Can you imagine the irony of a German doctor telling you to chill out? Can you imagine walking into a German doctor's office and they're going like, what is your condition? I have green tea or rooibos. Oh, chlamydia, rooibos, yeah. Maybe 2, this looks like a bad rash. Ooh, right. It's bad, it's like I did not know how bad it was, right? I moved back here from the US, and in the United States, I got used to the idea of getting a physical, an annual checkup. This is something you do every year. You go to your doctor, and you get a checkup, right? Now, I moved back, I went to my Dutch doctor with my now Americanized brain, and I didn't realize we speak 2 very different languages, okay? So I go in, I said, "Hey, Dutch doctor, I'd like to get a physical, please." Immediately she stopped me, she was like, "A physical? And why would we do this?" I'm like, "Ideally to keep me alive, Sarah, how about that?" And she's like, "Well, do you have any symptoms? Is there anything wrong with you?" First week back, I'm arguing with my doctor in the doctor's office. We're going back and forth, and at some point I'm like, "Doc, why can I not just have a physical?" And she looked at me, she's like, "I will tell you, Roger, why you cannot have a physical. Because if we start looking, we might find something." You know, like, again, there's a lot of misconceptions that we have about each other when we see each other on social media, when we don't travel, but when we're around each other, we really get to know each other. I'll tell you a little story about the best piece of life advice I ever got. And it was so profound, I still think about this 16 years later, okay? I was running down the subway steps in New York City. It was pouring down rain, okay? And I heard footsteps behind me. I heard 2 steps and a big splash, like a bucket was being emptied out on the steps. Now, I looked back. This is real. It was a homeless lady squatting down, taking a shit. Stay with me, okay? I told you guys, you know a little bit about me. You know me in a public bathroom. I locked eyes. And I smiled. Now, I think it was me giving her a little bit of kindness in this moment that made her return kindness to me. And by the way, do you realize the kind of bond this creates between two strangers, okay? When someone is letting it all go, but refuses to break eye contact. She is the closest woman in my life to this day. I think about her every single day. She is unbelievable, right? We're locked in. I don't know what to do. I smiled. She looked at me. She's like, don't look back, honey. Look forward. Is that not the most amazing thing? Can we think about this? These are the people we need in government, okay? She is flawed. She shits on steps, but she has good ideas about the future. And she knows how to make a personal connection with a stranger. And that's what I like, right? Now, the moment I realized, right, like I've been talking a little bit about like culture shocks, cultural differences or whatever, the moment I realized I had fully integrated into the United States was a very special moment because it was the moment I had mustered up enough courage to ask a girl out on a date. It was the first time I ever did this. It was one of those milestones again, first time I ever asked a girl out on a date, and I was so nervous, I was so petrified, and it ended up being so traumatic, I was like, fuck this forever, okay? So I was gonna go on this date with this girl, 20 years old, still a virgin, okay? So I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, I'll watch some movies to get a little inspiration, do a little research, and I saw that the guy in every movie always prepares the apartment. So I made sure my house was ready, but I also prepared the temple. I did like every guy does. We all do this, gay, straight, anything in between. I shaved my balls. Okay, 40 people are with me. I also lotioned my balls, people. Okay, you guys get weird when I say this? I'll tell you why I do this. Don't get weird. Okay, I was raised by a very strict Dutch mother. She was always like, make sure you lotion, Roger. She's a very short lady. Do we get it? Are we there? Yeah. Usually it's like one or two people. Now I feel like it's the entire back section who's like, did his mom actually lotion his balls? And when did he move out? When I was 25. So anyway, okay. I could be Italian for all you know, just mama. So, okay. So, I went on this date, super nervous. She was nervous. I was just like you, brother, just dropping shit all over the place. I get it. I was right there with you, right? And so nothing happened during the day, but after, she asked me to drive her home. Now, I had, for the first time, my own car, my own apartment, so I felt great. I was like, we're gonna get to the car. It's gonna be great, right? Let's fucking do this. We get to the car, that tension that built up, it just exploded. We're all over each other. The windows got all fogged up. It was just like that scene in Titanic. You guys remember Titanic, where Rose puts her hand on the window and slides down? That was the most erotic thing I could possibly imagine. So I was fantasizing about her doing this as we were making out. I could see it in my mind that she would go like, oh, Roger, oh. Yeah. But of course she didn't do it, so I did. Because you have to be your own cheerleader sometimes, right? That's what my coaches taught me. I was like, I need some encouragement. Hand to the window. I'm like, oh, Roger, oh. And I shit you not, it worked. Couldn't believe it. I'm in the driver's seat. She's in the passenger seat. She's like, I feel so comfortable. I want to try something crazy. I want to give you a blowjob. Okay, 3 people are excited. I was very excited. Let me tell you. I was ready to go, okay? She reached down in my pants. She's holding my peen. That's penis for short, okay? Yeah. It's not short, it's a language thing. It's fine, it's okay. Yeah. Mother said so. She's like a handful, my goodness. So I'm in the driver's seat. I'm a patient gentleman, right? I wait my turn. She's inching down and down. It took for fucking ever. But after an eternity, she reaches the tip of my penis and she goes, now I know some of you are disappointed. Imagine how I felt, okay? Because I promise you this is true. She gave one light peck, a single light kiss on the tip of my penis, as if to say, good night, penis. Oh, sweet dreams, little buddy. Yeah, we'll tuck you right in. Oh, yeah. And I immediately came right in the face, you know, just fucking. Yeah. Because I learned in America that American men shoot first and ask questions later, goddammit. You guys have been absolutely magical, man. Thank you so very much for coming out.